Hi, I'm Mark Powler, co-founder and CEO of Insurgent Technologies Incorporated. Today we're going to basically try to discuss a really critical issue, which are the difficulties facing people who are trying to get health services that they need. Today, of course, people are creating therapies that are going to cost millions of dollars, and of course they're even constructing all these incredibly molecular diagnostics costing thousands upon thousands of dollars in order to, of course, help people with whatever malady they happen to have. The fact is that ultimately all of this is going to wind up, of course, driving up the cost of health care for many people who will never need those sorts of things and will never benefit from them, but yet it will hurt them because at the very core of healthcare, so many things are being overlooked. And that's what we're going to spend some time looking at right now. Or what are those things that are being overlooked and, quite frankly, nobody seems to be doing anything about? The first thing, of course, is what does a normal person face when they need to, of course, work or get involved in the healthcare system? All right, number one, they wind up with finding lots of inconveniences, incredible amounts of inefficiencies. Things are really depersonalized. And at the end, what they wind up with is, here's a pill, here's a medication, I'll take care of it. Thank you very much, goodbye. A lot of people are incredibly dissatisfied. Millennials, for example, want really nothing to do with, doctors' offices, practitioners, medicine of any kind, because they don't want to go through all the inconvenience and all the other problems that are associated with it. This is definitely not helpful to anyone. So, what are the issues? Very simply, if it's costing you a lot of money to get the care, and quite frankly, you can't get it because you got to wait 30 days for the average time to get to see a practitioner, what are you going to do? You're going to start doing what other people have started to do. And that, of course, is create a whole new movement called the self-care movement. These people, instead of wanting to go to the practitioner or get involved with the healthcare system, they're online using search engines to find out what their symptoms mean to them, what's going on inside of them. Now, of course, you may not know this, but practitioners are doing the same thing in some cases. But now, because for the first time probably in human history, where people have access to this information, they are beginning to use it and try to find ways of getting treated or getting help without having to enter into the health care area. So, with all of these problems, you've got to start to realize something really important. Number one, a lot of things that are being done today have very little value to the person who's seeking help. Let's take a simple example. Every year, most people, if they go for the yearly checkup, they wind up, of course, getting a blood test. And then, of course, they first of all make that appointment. That's, of course, getting 30 days. Then wait an hour, hour and a half in the doctor's office to be able for the practitioner to take a look at them. And then, of course, the practitioner wants to take some blood, they take the blood. 3 or 4 days later, the blood results come back from some lab someplace. And then, of course, the practitioner then wants to finally sit down and discuss it, what's going on with the patient as to what's happening with their blood test. Well, this is kind of a strange thing, okay? Why is it so strange? Well, let's try to agree on a few basic pieces here. I'm sure you would agree with me that the human body is incredibly complex and very dynamic. I'm sure that you would understand that taking a single sample of blood on a particular day, you're getting what? A 1-second snapshot of what's happening with you, okay? With what's happening with your physiology and, of course, your metabolism. That's what they're saying. Well, let's try to compare this to something that is similar in nature. Okay? Let's say, for example, you put some money away, you want to invest it in the stock market. I'm sure you and I can agree that the stock market is equally complex and, of course, equally dynamic as our bodies. in terms of how it works, how it functions. Well, now, of course, you want to take all those hard-earned dollars that you made, you want to invest it in the stock market. Great. Let's do a comparison. Okay? Now, you pick a stock. This is what I want to invest in. And what information do you have to help you make that decision? You have a 1-second snapshot from one trading day for an entire year to help you make that decision about whether or not you should buy that stock. Would you buy a stock with that much information? The answer, of course, is you wouldn't even go near it. If you couldn't trade it, you know what was going on for an entire year. You wouldn't get near that stock. You would never invest your money. And what's really the value of that particular blood test? What value is it? The answer, of course, is it has virtually no value whatsoever. Okay? Because it's insufficient. Now let's look at it from a completely different perspective in terms of information that exists about you. All right? Whether you know it or not, the amount of information that's gathered about you from Google, Facebook, Amazon, Netflix on a single given day, okay, is more than all of the information about your health for your entire lifetime combined. Now think about this. All of these healthcare systems want to talk to you about, preventative, medicine or preventative care. They want to talk to you about personalized care, or they want to talk about things like, patient-centric. How can you possibly do that when you have absolutely no information at all about you, how you function, okay, how your body works? You can't possibly do that. And of course, when you start looking at wellness, you start looking at preventative care, you start looking at, personalized care, they start using euphemisms. The best way for you to have, for you to take better care of yourself is by exercise. What does that mean exactly? Eat healthier. Again, what does that mean? Eat healthier. Based upon my physiology, my metabolism. What does it mean? And quite frankly, it doesn't mean anything. Okay? Why? Because they don't have the data to support it. They don't have information about you to tell you specifically, here is what you as an individual need to do to keep yourself healthy. They know nothing about you. They look at the world, the people in the healthcare industry, as they see this generic, hypothetical human. And it's that hypothetical human that informs them about you. But you're not that human at all, are you? You're not that theoretical human. So when you look at your test results and the doctor starts saying, I looked at your test results and everything said normal. Normal for who? Normal for who? So you got back my blood test and they all said normal. What does the doctor do any extra work? Does the practitioner go, okay, let me do some important analysis. Let me look and see what drugs you're taking. Let me see what supplements you're taking. Let me see about your risk factors. Let me see about your lifestyle. Let me see about all those factors and what the impact of all of that has been on your results. No, they don't have time to do that. Nobody does that for you. Okay? So when you look at these results, who are they comparing you to? Or who are they comparing to some generic human that's not you? So for example, you might find that, this one particular thing that they measured has a range between 8 and 80. Well, that's great. Okay? Now, how they come up with those numbers, all sorts of statistical analysis, whatever, came up with those for the what? Generic human. What happens if your range happens to be between 20 and 40, and you never go out of that range ever? Well, the doctor doesn't care what your range is. They look at the generic human. So if your range all of a sudden went up to 70, the doctor wouldn't even think anything of it. Why? Because it's still in the normal range, even though for you, it's way beyond where it needs to be. And why is that? Like it or not, all of this is built on population studies, meaning what? The many are taken care of and everything works for the many, not the few. Practitioners don't see you ever as an individual. They don't provide and can't provide real personalized care. because it would take mountains of information for them to really understand what's going on with you. But it's too expensive, takes too much time, and quite frankly, healthcare, insurance, whatever you want to call it, isn't going to cover it to the degree that it needs to. So, like it or not, okay, who is going to help you? The practitioner, you might say, well, I can go to a practitioner, they'll help me. Well, the moment you walk into the practitioner's office, what happens the moment you walk in there? They hand you, whether it's a tablet or a piece of paper that is a waiver of liability. So already your relationship with that practitioner, okay, is not friendly, okay? It's not, oh, we're going to work together. They're doing things to absolutely protect themselves, okay? So is that the type of relationship you really want with the practitioner? The answer is, of course it's not. But you have to sign these things or you're not getting the care that you need so they can protect themselves. So you can't put, and quite frankly, this is another problem, that there's declining trust, declining communications, declining interaction with practitioners. And it's no wonder, okay? If that's the type of relationship that's being established between you and the practitioner. So who's out there to help you? Who is going to actually try and help you by allowing you to track all of those things about supplements, drugs, and everything else, and then look at them when it comes time to actually see your test results? Well, maybe you know someone, okay? Quite frankly, we don't know anyone right now who's doing it. Well, why not? Oh, it's simple, okay? We should create more, $1 million therapies that God knows who can afford that. Or, diagnostics that cost tens of thousands of dollars per use. Fantastic. Okay, but based on what? Okay, you are a unique individual and you need to be treated that way. Okay, that's what one of the things we're trying to accomplish here with our EzMed platform, is to give you every chance and the practitioner every chance to see you for who you are. Anyway, I'm Mark Paller. Please visit us at www.insurgenttech.com. 1 T, please, not 2. Thank you for your time and thank you for listening.